Well, hello, Stampers. It's the Pampered Stamper, and I'm here in Tennessee. Nope. Where am I?
North Carolina.
Yeah, I get it mixed up all the
Crazy,
time.
crazy squirrel.
You know why I get it mixed up? It's because we're in the Smoky Mountains, and
Yeah.
I've always associated the Smoky Mountains with Tennessee. But we're on the North Carolina side, and it's pouring rain, so we thought it'd be a good time to do a video from the deck. So you're
Yeah.
hearing the rain in the background. And we're going to take a step back in time. So this is my stories and stamps, and today there's going to be no stamps. I'm on holidays, and not a single stamp went with me. And we left off with me telling you a bit of a sad story that I broke up with Gerard. I was on my way to university and he was starting his new greenhouse business. And I thought we would step back again to the day that we met at my cousin Karina's birthday. And we'll listen to the story from Gerard's perspective because he's telling me things that I didn't even know. So the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Well, yeah, I'm happy to share this story because it's a moment that I never forget. That I met the first time I met Jackie. I do remember that I went to play squash on a Monday night with my best friend, who was dating Jackie's cousin at that time. And they were not really in, I think they just were dating for a few months. And after we had a shower after the squash, we dressed up and we went to Karina's birthday party, that's her name. And when I walked into the room, it wasn't too crowded yet. You know, she had invited a lot of friends, but we were kind of early and we got coffee. And when I looked around, I saw a beautiful girl, and I didn't know what to say. I think I shook hands and introduced myself, tell her my
Right,
name.
because that's what they do in Holland. I'm
Yeah.
just interrupting for a
Mm-hmm.
minute. So when you go to a birthday party in
Yeah.
Holland, regardless of how old you are, Dutch tradition is that you
Yeah.
go around
Yeah.
to everyone in the room and you shake
Yeah.
hands and you congratulate all the guests with the birthday of whoever.
It,
Everyone gets congratulated.
yeah. That's yeah. You know, maybe it has changed a little bit, but still, I was there and I saw that beautiful girl, but I was just too shy to come up and talk to her. You know, I I was flirting in the years before a little bit, but there was nothing serious happened, and I was kind of a late starter. I think I was like 18, 19, but I couldn't keep my eyes from her. She was so beautiful, and I just wanted to know. And I heard through other people who she was, and all of a sudden she crossed the room and she came to sit next to me, and we started talking. And I was flabbergasted, but I had some stories to tell because I had crossed the ocean and see my family in North Carolina.
So your English was quite good.
My English, yeah, I learned a lot of English there.
Yeah.
So we had a really good chat, and at the end of the evening, I said, "Why don't you let me take for a ride and show you where I live because it's not that far." So which we did, and I was so happy that she was excited with the things I was telling, and she was so good looking, and I already fell in love more or less on the spot, so to say. So which we did, and by the end of when I returned to the parking place where I parked my car um, to bring her back home, she yeah, we did a little kissing.
I
Yes.
think we did. I mentioned that.
Yeah,
Yes.
we did a little kissing, and then some uncles, I think they noticed
It was
that we left.
my uncle,
Yeah,
and Ewout's dad. I
yeah,
think.
and they knew, they realized, so they came outside. They were leaving kind of late, but when they saw us coming back, I think they must have told each other, well, let's do something funny. So they sneaked outside and they were banging on the rooftop on the roof of the car, and it shocked me. What shocked me? It scared me so much. But we had a
I'm
really
busted.
but we really had a good laugh, and I remember that uncle and Ava's dad, they kept joking about it every single time when we were there and where we meet. That they thought that was the funniest thing ever happened to them.
They did. They did. My uncle still mentions it when I come and visit now. Yeah.
So maybe they sort of knew or felt, that couple is made for each other. So that's basically the story of our the first time that we met,
Yeah.
and
And
yeah.
then we decided to start writing letters.
Oh yeah.
Tell me a
Oh
little
oh
bit of the letters.
oh yeah. Well, I think I have to think hard now, but I think that Jackie stayed for another 10 days or a week or so after we met.
Mm-hmm.
So we did some fun things. We went to Maduro Dam, that is the miniature city, and Jackie took a lot of pictures there. And when she got home and developed those pictures, all the pictures were lost or
Yeah, they didn't turn out.
they did turn out. So we had no memories on pictures for that. But I do remember that we had a good time and we did some nice things with our group of friends.
What do you remember about my letters?
Oh yeah, about the letters. After she flew home to Canada, Jack, we started to write letters, and the first letter was hers,
Oh,
and she had that paper with a printed romantic sunset, and what she did, she put some
perfume.
yeah, she had put some perfume. It were perfumed letters, and I thought that was so nice. I was really impressed. I didn't know what to say. Well, I
Did I
could,
seal them with a kiss too, or no?
well, maybe not the first time, but
No.
maybe you did it with the second time. And the sad thing is that we still don't. Jackie forgot what type of perfume she was using, but I do remember those letters. They smell so good, and to be honest, I have kept those letters, and the smell is still there. One day we do have to figure it out what kind of perfume she was using. But I have to be honest that I wasn't a natural writer, so I think I wrote just once a month, but I didn't know that she was waiting that eagerly to receive a letter back. So I wasn't really aware of that. I fell short in the speed of letters, and I really had to take, you know, time what to write because I wanted to be a meaningful letter. Maybe that's the best explanation
Mm.
why it took so long, or took so long, but that I took my time to write letters back to her. But
But I've always been
yeah,
an impatient squirrel, so this was definitely a strike against them. The waiting was too
and
much.
I didn't notice she was an impatient squirrel by then. But
No, and
I
apparently
didn't.
I didn't write that in the letters either. I did never told him, you know what? It's taking too long. Why is it taking so long to write a letter back to me?
Maybe we should have called more often.
Oh, so expensive.
Expensive phone calls, but
My goodness, no.
whatever.
My immigrant parent family, like if you wanted to make a phone call to Holland, it had to be a serious thing. Something big was happening,
Yeah.
and you were watching the clock. You knew exactly down to the minute how many minutes you talked on the phone. You didn't just have a long conversation. So my parents probably wouldn't have gone for that.
But those letters, they really meant a lot to me, and I kept them. I don't know why, but
Well, there's another story about those letters, but maybe we shouldn't tell that one. Remember, but someone broke into your office.
oh yeah. That's a story for next time.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll tell that story another time. But the letters also, it was pretty crazy what happened. And that's a very cool story. So anyway, I didn't want to skip a week with stories and stamps, but it's just a short one this time. It's under 10 minutes, but I thought it'd be really nice for you to hear from Gerard. And I still think about it. You know, we're in the cottage today in this cabin in the mountains, totally remote, in the rain, and I'm thinking, what would it be like to spend, a long time, like a month, in a cabin like this? Would I be able to settle in and write a book? I've always, when I was young, I always said, I want to write a book. I want to be an author. But that hasn't happened. And they say that the book has to be born inside you. The story has to be there. So I have to kind of let it germinate. It's one thing to tell stories like this, but that's not writing a book. When you write a book, you have to weave the story, and yeah, so it's not ready yet, but it's there. I'm
So,
thinking about it.
who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. And I really appreciate the fact that you're interested in the story, that you're following along, and that it's also encouraging you to think about your stories and to share your stories and to ask your parents for their stories. Stories are really important. So,
So all the best from Bryson City, North Carolina, in a rainy day,
yeah,
but that's quite normal here. So
it's beautiful,
thanks
eh?
thanks for watching.
See, you can see the smoky, when you can see the hills
The reason why
and
it's
the
called
mist.
Smoky Mountains.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of hold it up and around. This is our view. So we're more trees. We do see the hills, and
Cardinals.
yeah,
Up top.
and then here we are.
Yeah, it's
And I think if I go this way, you'll see the American flag too. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for joining us. Have a super day. Bye.
bye.